congratulations on winning. It's a very difficult prize, and I think honestly this category might be the hardest to win in because there's so many great small and medium enterprises around the world in the clean tech industry. But when I saw the finalists, I immediately thought Sonnen's gonna win.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, well, yes, that's because you're Sonnen. But you guys are doing tremendous work. We've been covering clean tech as it's grown over the last decade, and solar was a very exciting field. Wind, EVs. In the past few years, energy storage has become sort of the hottest market, right? And it's very hard to navigate because pricing is very hazy in this market.
It is.
But it seems, unless I'm naive, Tesla and Sonnen seem to sort of lead the market. They seem to be at the front in various ways.
No doubt that.
And I know you trade. I know you trade a lot of personnel.
From Tesla?
Sonnen and Tesla.
Both directions.
Going both. Yeah, that's what I mean. Trading, but both directions.
Oh, yeah.
So what can you say? Why are you at the forefront? What makes you so special?
Why? Well, first of all, we were the first to start. We deployed the first residential storage systems already in 2010, in a time when nobody thought about it and everybody laughed about us and told us, what are you doing with your fucking system? Solar power is fed into the grid against the feed-in tariff. We are probably the first ones, and I think we are developing very fast our technology, especially on the software side. We are not lazy at all, and this is also why we started to deploy new business models, energy services. And our aim is at the end of the day not to become the greatest storage system manufacturer, which we already are, of course, but to become the utility of the future, deploying cheap and clean energy to all via virtual power stations where we connect lots of storage systems and renewable power production and monitor and control this and let customers literally exchange their excess power among each other.
There's no denying globally Tesla has a special kind of brand recognition. I'm curious.
We've compare the new Powerwall 2 with our product design.
We need an in-depth look at that.
Do it.
But how do you pull top people from Tesla? What is it that attracts the top Tesla personnel to say, hey, I'm going to go work for Sonnen now? It can't be. I don't imagine at this level with these people it's just cash, and I don't know if
you know what, if we would try to beat Tesla by cash,
you would not win.
No chance to win. So it must be something else. So what is it? I don't know. I think that first of all it's a question of company culture, and different people have different preferences regarding the culture they would like to work in, and secondly it is also a different kind of business model because we don't want to be a hardware manufacturer and a hardware provider, and the Powerwall is at the moment just a piece of hardware which is, by the way, commoditizing very fast. There are many people entering the marketplace offering good products to good prices. So what really makes a difference from my point of view for Sonnen is that we are deploying energy services, and that our aim is not to sell a piece of hardware, but to provide clean and affordable energy to our customers.
Yeah, and so in that space, I mean, we visited Unico's facility in Berlin, and it's a great company doing great stuff as well. There's other companies out there. STEM. What differentiates you in this space?
Well, Unico's and STEM, they are focused on C&I space or utility scale storage systems. We don't. We are very much focused on the residential space because we think that the energy transition, which is some kind of modern revolution, has to start with individuals and has to come from...
Well, that's a beautiful part of Germany's energy transition and Denmark's, is that it's been very focused on what we call the democratization of energy, democratizing the socioeconomic benefit and sociopolitical power even of energy. So it's not just going to big corporations and big utilities, but it's going to the people. So you see that as a core part of your mission is making the basically, as we transition to clean tech, democratizing energy more.
Absolutely.
And that goes, of course, for Germany, but you're in the U.S. We had an article that you beat Tesla to market with the first home energy storage delivery or something, I think, a couple years ago. Australia must be a hot market for you. What do you see? Is your vision just this is the global future? We're going to go in every market as they open up, or?
On the long-term run, of course, yes. In the short-term run, we are still a small company. We are not a Tesla. We don't have billions of dollars to spend.
I mean, even Tesla, it's all. You can't grow too fast. You can't expand too fast. You can't get ahead of yourself too much, right?
So we try to be focused at the moment. We focus very much, of course, on Europe because it's our home base, no doubt about that, and we focus as well on the US and on Australia, which are all developed markets. We are not at all present in Africa at the moment.
And by the US, are you saying California and Hawaii, or is it broader than that?
Well, actually everybody's talking about California and Hawaii, so our expectation when entering the US market was that these are the hotspots. In fact, it's not the case.
Wow.
We are actually all over the place. The West Coast is getting more interesting with net metering going away. Net metering is, of course, not the right incentive for storage, that's for sure. We have lots of customers at the East Coast where it is another ballgame, where everybody is looking for resilience.
Yeah.
And we have also customers all over the place in Utah, for example, or Nebraska, or wherever.
And I'm originally from Florida. What do you think of the Florida market? I mean, this is an interesting market where solar has had a challenge because it hasn't had the support of other markets, but it's got sunshine and it's got high electricity bills.
Absolutely.
And it's got utilities that are sort of,
I know what you mean.
What do you think of that market for storage?
This is a very interesting market. Absolutely.
Are you examining it closely and looking to get your foot in the door? Or?
We had last week a training there for installers in Florida. So we're already active there.
And I'm next door in Poland. Is there any hope for Poland? I mean,
You mean in terms of energy?
In terms of energy, in terms of.
Well, I don't have to tell you that Poland is very much coal-focused still, but I think that the energy transition, which is taking part, especially in Germany, and which is a visible thing for all the big utilities also in Eastern Europe, will motivate them to do their homework in time, not to end up screwed like the big German utilities are. Right.
And I mean, we recently covered the new Lazard report. Have you seen the latest Lazard report, which puts wind in the U.S.? Wind is the cheapest option for new power. Solar is number 2 now, ahead of on average, basically inching out natural gas. But they even highlighted in a separate storage article, solar plus storage is becoming really cost competitive on the market.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, no. And I mean, my thought is, I guess my only hope for places like Poland, where they're sort of just trying to block progress, is that at some point solar plus storage just is that much better that people will say, screw it, I'm going for solar plus storage. Do you see that as happening? You see that as
not tomorrow, but in the course of the next 5 years.
Yep, I
think it will happen.
I was going to say 5 to 10, so next 5 is even more more exciting. And then the EV market for me is one of the most exciting as well. Germany in that case is a bit of a hold. I know they have an incentive now, but they're a bit of a hold up because they have a big auto industry.
And they're protecting, of course, their market.
Yeah, they don't want to transition to happen too fast. But obviously the market's growing anyway, and even Germany is having pretty good development. Do you see us? I mean, there are synergies, but do you have plans in place for connecting what you're doing with EV?
Oh yes, of course, we're already doing that.
In what kind of ways?
Well, first of all, we can of course charge electric vehicles, but we can also, our energy management system logic is able to take the car as a part of the ecosystem at home and to use the storage in the car. The question is if the car manufacturers want that, because they are using a cell technology which maybe does not like too many cycles. So if electric vehicles really become an important storage device for the residential space, is up to be proven, but
And you mentioned Africa earlier. You know, there's Africa, there's India, there's these hot, growing developing markets where again solar plus storage is becoming the best option. I mean, obviously you can't go everywhere, you can't overextend. But do you have a vision for them in the long term?
Well, I think that those developing countries will benefit a lot from the technology development going on in this space, and also from the significant price decrease. And I deeply believe that storage plus solar is the technology for off-grid applications shortly, because diesel engines are by far too expensive, they are noisy, they are stinky. Solar plus storage is competitive, and I don't see any reason why this should not be the technology also for those countries. Yeah. If this is our system or the system of somebody else, is a different question. At the moment I don't see it as our markets again, because we have limited resources and we need to stay focused.
So what's the number, two last questions, what's the number one thing you guys need? You know, if you could just, of course, not too extreme, but you know, practically speaking, possibly speaking, do you need more investment? Do you need more awareness? Do you need more people to understand that sonnen is competing with the top players in this field?
Well, we need first of all more awareness. Still, it's a niche market. So in Germany, it's a niche market.
And it's a hard market for normal consumers to understand. If you're not a techie,
absolutely,
it's hard to understand.
It's very hard to understand. So
kilowatt hour, what's the difference? What are you talking about? Yeah,
it's a very young market still, and in the last couple of years, all the journalists actually wrote about storage systems that are cool but by far too expensive, not economic. And now we have to teach the market that this has changed, and today we are able to offer economic systems, and this is what I mean with awareness. This is exactly what we need.
What can cities do? What can cities do to bring sonnen to more people?
What can cities do? Well, I think it is absolutely enough that cities start to showcase solutions like this in order to deliver the proof points for their population that this is true and this is working and this is reliable and this is economic. Because the technology is already there. And I even think that no subsidies are needed, because solar power is competitive, storage is competitive.
So demonstration, what conferences or awareness-raising events?
Conferences or a sample house, something like this, where people can come and see, and something like an energy information center. Mm-hmm. You have sometimes you have this.
Yeah, we have these. I have one in my home city in Florida. I have a Florida Solar Energy House or something.
You see?
With many different types of technologies.
I think this is great, because this is the practical proof that everybody can go there, can see it, can touch it, can understand it.
And in building codes or incentives, is there anything that stands out?
I'm not a friend of incentives. I don't like that.
You're a free market. Just don't interfere with my.
What we need is stable.
Do you run into problems with permitting or permitting obstruction in some jurisdictions, or
at some places in the world? Yes, of course. Spain is a good example.
So cut those. Oh well, yeah, Spain. Spain is a crazy example. Yeah, it's a scary example. But I think it's getting better, right?
It's getting better. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let. Thank you again. Congratulations again. Tremendous prize.